Hey Crafty Peeps, I have some awesome Kirkland fall dupes for you today. And this is also a Lisa's of YouTube collab, so stay tuned and I'll tell you more about that. Let's get into today's DIYs.
This first Kirkland's dupe is this wreath that normally retails for $99.99. I'm taking this wreath from Michael's that was in my grab bag, normally $79.99, but it cost me $2, and I take off all the greenery. Okay, so this pumpkin, I'm trying to use what's in my stash. I would have probably just went and bought a brown pumpkin at Dollar Tree, but again, I'm trying to use what's in my stash. So I'm just going to cover this cream pumpkin here with just regular old brown paint. I do 2 coats, and I actually kind of like how the white shows through a little bit. Gives it, I don't know, a little more natural look. This is all the stems I'm going to use. Everything is from Dollar Tree. The pine cones there and the little squash are from 99-cent store. Again, just because I was there and I grabbed them, but they do have those at Dollar Tree. So big elements go first, okay? So I am going to use these big burlap wreath leaves, and I'm going to put those down first because they are big and they look kind of silly at this moment, but they are going to be in the background, and trust me, it will work. So then I'm taking these long stems. I don't know what you call these. You'll have to let me know. I don't know the name for these long stems, but I'm just putting them around, and as you can see, I'm just following that kind of swirl that this wreath has, and I'm just going to go around in that same circle and just keep swirling around. So normally on a wreath everything kind of faces up, but on this one, like I said, we're going from left, goes up, and then down for the right. I do kind of some spots put things upright, but again, just going through and putting in all these long stems. Now I'm going to go in and put some of these leaves in. I am so bummed I didn't get more of these brown leaves that they had at Dollar Tree this year. I've gone back like 3 times and I haven't found them, so I hope you find them. They're awesome. Perfect for this neutral wreath. I am loving neutrals. I've been getting more and more obsessed with things that are just neutral. I feel like it's just very calming. I put this in and then I didn't like the greenery, so I pull it out, take off that leaf. That greenery did not look good. But again, these little, I don't know, little ball things are also from Dollar Tree, and they were in the Kirkland's wreath, so it was fun to find something that I thought looked just like it. Again, just keep going around in the circle. I always take one element, put all of it down, then go to the next element. Okay, so now for my pumpkin, I see where I want it to go, and then I poke in a skewer, and you can see I did it at an angle, so that way it'll fit down in there nice and tight. I didn't have to use hot glue on this, which is really nice because even though this is a fall wreath, it is still ridiculously hot where I live. It was 115 yesterday. So hot glue does not not work for me. So I love that this wreath has the ability to just stick into that plant. Now I do want to mention too, I was looking for this wreath for you, this wreath form. If you like that wispy look, I found one at Crafts Direct for a very good price, and I will link it down below. As you see here, I'm just now adding in the biggest elements there, the pumpkin, the pine cones, and some more of these little Dollar Tree pumpkins. They come in 3 sizes, which is great, and I think I used the middle size right here. There is no bow or anything on this. This literally took me like 10-15 minutes to make. It was so fast, and I just recreated a $100 wreath for under $30. And that's being like generous. I think it was quite a bit less than $30. But this is how it turns out, and I am so in love. What do you think of this dupe? Once again, I have teamed up with the Lisas of YouTube, and you are going to want to check all of them out because we are all bringing fall dupes to you, and you don't want to miss it. I will link that playlist down in the description. I was really excited to duplicate this one. Retails for $10, not too expensive. And I went into Cricut Design Space there. That Hello Pumpkin is already there to use. Now, if you want, you could print one of those or cut out one of those vinyl pumpkins and use it instead of hand drawing it. I went ahead and did the hand drawing. So I penciled down my pumpkin, and then I am putting down this Hello Pumpkin. I just used contact paper from Dollar Tree. I suggest removable vinyl. It works a little easier. It's a little easier to get down, but I didn't have any. So what this is going to do is create a mask for us. That's why it doesn't matter what it looks like, because I will peel it off. Now I'm going to take my fine tip Sharpie and I'm just going to draw over the pencil lines that I had already drawn. I did draw this freehand. However, if that is not your forte, you can just print one off. You can do a couple ways. You can put your watercolor paper in the printer. You could print something off of your printer and then trace it. So there's a couple options there, but I did want to also reiterate there that I do use watercolor paper for this project. And I'm not, super versed in watercolor, and I have recently stumbled across Andrea Nelson on Instagram, and she does all these cute little paintings and watercolor, and I'm going to link her below because it is a really fun account to follow and kind of gave me some tips here on how to do watercolors, period. Actually borrowed my daughter's watercolors. She took an art class in high school and had watercolors. So the one in the dupe there, it had these kind of extra like lines that, just gave it a little extra character, and I'm literally just copying it right from the picture. So once you get your pumpkin all drawn out, then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your watercolors, spritz them with water, or you can just dip your brush in water first if you don't want to get all of them wet. But it is also very important that you wet your paper first. So what I'm doing here is I'm not going out to the lines, because in the one from Kirkland's, the whole pumpkin wasn't filled in. It's just kind of partially filled in. So I'm just getting this all wet. You can always add more water. And if your thing gets a little too dry, just keep adding water. Now, I started with the darkest color first. That's, I believe, the correct way to go. It worked for me, okay? So I'm just dropping the color. Literally, you don't have to even paint it on. You can just barely drop it, and you can see how it just, the water takes it in. And it doesn't go past where the water was on the paper. So I'm just, again, starting with dark first. I'm going from dark on the left and bottom, and then we're going to work our way to light up to the top right. So I just keep going from red to a dark orange to a medium orange and then to the yellow. And again, I just keep watering it and adding the colors. It's easier to add more than it is to take away, but if you do want to take it away, all you do is dab it with a paper towel. Quite a bit comes up, so just keep that in mind. Now, the example was really bright and vibrant. By the time mine dried, it was a little less vibrant. So again, something I am going to continue to work on. I had so much fun doing this. I love challenging myself. I love doing things I haven't done before, and this was really easy to do. And now I just want to do all sorts of watercolors. So you may just see more of this technique in future videos, especially as Christmas approaches. Let me know if you are someone who's ever done watercolors, or if it's something you've always wanted to try as well.
To admit it, I'm out of ideas, I don't know what to do. Most of the times I think I'll make it through, but all that it takes is one image of you and it shivers. Nobody knows the way it shivers. Nobody knows. It hurts just a little when I'm with my friends and we drink till we're done. Yeah. So I can't remember how it would feel to wake up in that it shivers. Nobody knows the way it shivers. Nobody knows because it shivers. It's cold and it's dark without you in my arms. Yeah, it shivers, it hurts.
I'm a sucker for a good centerpiece, and this one for $100 is a definite no. So I can recreate that for around $25. So I'm taking these 2 pumpkin signs from Dollar Tree, and these are going to make my box. So what I do there is I am measuring how wide my board is. And then measuring from the side, I'm measuring that same distance, because where I cut, those are going to be my sides, and the long pieces will be my front and my back. And you can see how easily that cuts and pops off. Very easy. And then I just sand it to get any edges nice and smooth. Now, I forgot to hit record, sorry, but I just randomly cut out a piece of foam core board. I didn't measure it or anything, and then I glued the first side. The reason I didn't measure it is, I swear, Dollar Tree stuff, it's not square. It's not, 2 pieces aren't the same. So I figured my best bet was just to put each side on at a time and then cut my foam board down. So that way it would be the perfect size. So again, just using my hot glue, and because it's such a thin layer, you really need that fine tip if you can get it. Otherwise you're going to have hot glue everywhere. Now, you could make this with the Dollar Tree crates. You could buy the crates that are just, at the craft store, paint it. I wanted to show you a fun way to make a crate, and I thought this is, while the Kirkland's one doesn't have the little pumpkins on the side, I mean, how cute though is it that there are little pumpkins on the side? I just thought that was a fun little element. If you don't find these little pumpkin ones, you can use any of the Dollar Tree long signs. But anyhow, I will get all 4 sides now put down. Closest I could find at Dollar Tree, and they're glittery and have a little bit of a blue tint. So I just took them outside and sprayed them with some white spray paint, and it worked great. Okay, so I feel like my little pumpkins need to be, something behind it. So using some of the Dollar Tree faux leather, I put that on the back. I took 4 of these floral foams and I glued them down to the bottom. And now it's just a matter of putting down the florals, kind of just literally copying the Kirkland's one. So the Kirkland's one had these oranges and stuff, leaves, and they're kind of falling over the front. And so that's what I'm going to do here first. And then also on the Kirkland's one, then it fills in with some of the lamb's ear. So the lamb's ear is from Walmart. Other than that, you should be able to find everything at Dollar Tree. These glass, the candles, these are the, what do you call it? Battery operated candles. And they're really nice. They actually have a flicker. Not just a steady light, but a flicker, so it looks like a candle. Go ahead and stick my main event pumpkin right down in the middle. I got the exact color pumpkin. It's so beautiful. And the one thing that I do in the end here, and I didn't have it on film, is I put 2 of the new white, I want to say wicker. I'm trying to think of what that's called, but the 2, maybe rattan, I don't know. Ones from Dollar Tree this year, I go ahead and I put those in as well, because in the Kirkland's one you do see kind of a creamy pumpkin. Okay, so then I just happened to have to leave and take my daughter somewhere, and there was a Dollar Tree nearby, so I ran in and I found these. Look at how much prettier these ones are. They're more vibrant, they have a texture to them, and I was like, I like these way better than the ones I was using before. So I went ahead and intertwined them, so you can see there's the new one and then there's the other one. So don't those look so much more high end? So keep an eye out for those. So now again, I'm just filling in all the leaves, all of the lamb's ear, some of these little white baubles, and then you see a couple pine cones there, and it was easy peasy and saved so much money. I am so in love with this one. And there you can see those white pumpkins I was talking about and how the lights literally flicker like they're regular candles.
I'm fed up with changes. Come pick me up 'cause I just wanna see the light. I wanna be with.
I wanted to make a pillow like this last year and I never got around to it. So these are the supplies. That's a pillowcase, 2 kinds of yarn, and then some twine. I got all of that at Hobby Lobby except for the twine. And this is Fabrica. Is that what it was called? Yes, Beacon Fabrica. I got that at Walmart. So what I'm going to do is I basically just start drawing with the glue and then I'm putting down my yarn. So I got kind of this creamy tan yarn and then I got white yarn to be the outline. In hindsight, it would have been easier to just take a pencil and kind of sketch this out and then put the yarn around it. I mean, I just winged it is what I did. And yeah, it worked out for me, but it's going to be so much easier for you if you sketch it out. Just make sure your lines are very light and then put your yarn right over the lines. You'll see me do it in a little bit where I do it for the stem. So now as I'm doing my first little loop here, you'll see that I go tighter at the top and a little looser towards the bottom. And that's because I want this to be like, I don't want it to be a perfect oval, okay? Because pumpkins, you know, they kind of are skinnier at the top and fatter at the bottom. And again, I'm just looking right at the Kirkland's one and I'm just trying to mimic it as best as I can. But this is so easy to do. It's a little time consuming. I really did take my time, but it's really easy. I don't recommend using hot glue. You're gonna get frustrated. Make sure you just get some fabric glue like I'm using. It makes it so easy. And again, you can just kind of draw with it and then you know right where you're gonna put your yarn. So once I get this little area down, I'm gonna go ahead and outline it in the white.
Teach me to fly, I won't be coming down. Could somebody wake me up? I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. Yeah. I just see her face wherever I look. She's standing in the crowd. So let go, I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, let a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. 'Cause I just wanna see the
Okay, for the next section, it had like a zigzag pattern. So instead of going around and around and around, this one has a zigzag. So now I'm just, well, I'm gonna zigzag it back and forth. This actually goes much faster than the other one, surprisingly. Just put little sections of glue down. You can see how fast it goes. Again, I'm kind of just drawing the shape with my glue so I know, where to go. If you had this drawn out, it'd be so much easier. And then once I get this one down, I'll go ahead and outline again. And then I just continue to do this in the shape of the pumpkin again that I just was fully copying.
I'm so sick of waiting and getting too restless to be in this dusty town. I've heard of this place where people forget and you get another try. So come open up my door. I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. I won't see your face wherever I look. I'm blinded by the light. So let go, I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, died a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. see the light. Yeah, I just wanna see the light. Close my eyes, let the past be down my life. So let go, I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, let a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. 'Cause I just wanna see the light.
Okay, I didn't show you the right side because it was just like it was on the left. Now I'm ready for the stem. So this is where I go, you know what, this is going to be tough. It's going to be easier if I just draw it first. The twine here is from Dollar Tree, and it's a lot thinner. So this was harder to glue down than the yarn was. The yarn stuck just so easily. This one takes a little bit more to hold it down, and it's a little bit messier. A little bit more glue on my fingers. But still same theory, same technique. And you're just going to continue to do that, and I will just put some music on here for you to watch the rest of it go down.
If just for a minute I'd fall asleep and not dream about you. I hate to admit it, I'm out of ideas, I don't know what to do.
If you're new here, I would love to invite you to stay a little longer by hitting that subscribe button. I have lots more fall and other DIYs coming that I would hate for you to miss. Also, I'd like to invite you over to Instagram, where I share some of my shopping hauls, some hacks, other how I decorate. You can get to know me better. Also, if you send me a DM over there, I will answer it. So if you have any questions, you can always reach me over there. My name is $__mom.
Nobody knows the way it shivers. Nobody knows. It hurts just a little when I'm with my friends and we drink till we're done. Yeah. So I can't remember how it would feel to wake up in that bed right beside you. All of the memories I tried to erase just comes back when I'm sober and I see that face and it shivers. Nobody knows the way it shivers.
And finished, and I think this looks so high-end. I spent about $13 in supplies, but I have tons of yarn left over so I can use for other projects. I'd love to hear which dupe was your favorite or which one you plan to remake. Don't forget to check out the other Lisas of YouTube in the playlist down below. Until next time, happy crafting!